Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a student. His name is Andrew. He's on the call with me today, and he's going to be sharing his experience with e-commerce, specifically with Amazon FBA. He's going to be talking about his journey, how he went from zero to success, and just any advice that he has to give to people starting out. Hi, Andrew. Welcome to the channel. Super happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Cool. So let's get started. So I think the number one question that most people would be interested in knowing is, can you take us back to like when you were starting out, and also talk about when that was? How long has it been? Has it been like 2017? You mentioned 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, so I've been kind of in the industry since 2017 or 2018. I actually started out as a project manager for a company where we launched retail products online, on Amazon, on brick and mortar retailers. We launched products that were very similar to the types of products that actually a lot of your other students launch and what I currently launch. And so I saw a company that I was working for making a ton of money selling these products online. I saw the process they went through, sourcing them from China and then listing them on these retailers. And I thought, oh, geez, I want to do that too. I want to manufacture these projects. I can do that. I have a lot of experience with sourcing, with designing and engineering products. I think that I wasn't very clear on was how to actually launch products on Amazon itself and perform the advertising and logistics that went through it. Your course helps with a lot of basics with understanding how to do that.
So basically you're saying that you kind of got exposed to the e-commerce business opportunity and to Amazon because you were already involved with product sourcing, things like that before, right? So when you made the switch, when you actually decided to start e-commerce, was it because you wanted to kind of like achieve financial freedom, you wanted to achieve location independence? What were the reasons why you started?
My family has always told me, you'll never really get rich working for someone else. And I've always kind of subscribed to that. I've always wanted to own my own business, and I've always seen the value that it can bring you both personally and monetarily. Through my experience in product sourcing and product development, I thought that this represented a great opportunity. The Amazon boom and the e-commerce boom, it was kind of the gold rush of our time to some extent. And I thought it was kind of a situation with right place, right time. And I love the scalability part of the business model.
So you started in 2000 and was it 18 with Amazon?
With Amazon formally 2018, yes.
2018. How long did it take you to, let's say, hit your first consistent thousands of dollars per month in sales?
It took us about I'll say 6 or 8 months to start making about $2,000 to $3,000 sales. That was with our first line of products, which we definitely learned a lot. Then I'll say it was another 6 months after that where we launched another line of products, which was really where we struck gold. I guess something that I'd like to stress: not every product is going to be a success, and I know you talk a lot about that in your course, Dan. You'll learn a lot with your first product, and sometimes there'll be successes and sometimes they weren't. I wouldn't consider our first round of product successes necessarily, even though we did make some money, but we definitely learned a lot from it, and it helped us launch our second line of products, which is really what we're focusing on now.
So today your business is it exclusively on Amazon or is it also on Shopify?
So currently we have our own website. We actually run it through Wix. I wish I would have seen your course earlier as far as Shopify is concerned. We run our own website through Wix, and it seems to work okay. Although I've heard Shopify, is also a great platform. We also sell on other platforms like Etsy and Walmart, and we're actually wholesaling for some other distributors now, and we're trying our best to get into brick and mortar. We're trying to, thoroughly penetrate the market with all of our products as much as possible.
And so I'm assuming you started Wix just because, I guess, the easiest solution, right?
That's what I read. When I was researching those platforms, Wix seemed to be more user-friendly, and Shopify offered more features. We also we had run some blogs in the past and some websites, so we were a little bit more familiar with the platform. In the end, I don't know, we might eventually end up going over to Shopify. That remains to be seen.
If you kind of look at since you started, you went from zero. What has been your highest month revenue in sales, not profit, in sales, in terms of like the numbers?
Sure. So in December of 2020, we did about 115K in sales.
That's amazing. Like after 2-ish years, right? So that's a huge accomplishment. The problem is, I think, and maybe you would agree, is that most people, they look at e-commerce and they expect to get rich quick, right? And they're like, they don't even want to commit for like 6 months or even a year, right? So it's like, and I said this to myself when I was starting out with e-commerce, I was like, wow, if I only did this for a year, even 2 years, 3 years, imagine where I would be, right? Because of the nature of it, because of how fast it's moving. And nobody even knew back when it was 2018, when you joined Ecom Freedom, at the time it was called Amazon Freedom, nobody even knew that the whole world situation that happened would have happened, which gave a massive boost to e-commerce, right? That kind of really helped out as well. But okay, cool. So right now you have one brand that you're focusing on, or?
We're currently putting all of our focus on one particular brand. Admittedly, I think I suffer from shiny object syndrome sometimes, and the business is run by myself and my wife. My wife kind of helps me focus and stay focused on the one brand that's doing very well. With that one brand, I think we've got huge potential for success. After a while, we will eventually decide to expand. I did want to kind of touch on a point that you had just brought up, the idea of persistence, and this business takes a while. I'll agree that, you definitely can be successful within 3 or 6 months, but you have to continue to be persistent with this, and frankly, any business model or any venture that you go out on. I do talk to a lot of students in the Facebook group, and I think that this is something that I would recommend to any student person who's pursuing this particular business model. I'm just talking to a lot of different people and getting a lot of different perspectives. I think it's important to understand that this does take a good bit to reach very high numbers. I think you have to go through a lot of cycles. You have to experience those failures, and they're not necessarily failures if you can learn from them, but be prepared for anything. So people go to school for primary school for 12 years or more, and they'll go to college for 2 to 4 years, and that's a whole lot of time before you go out and really get your first professional job. If your intention is for this to be wildly successful in just 3 months or 6 months, well, I think that's a little unrealistic. I think if your line of sight is 2 years, 3 years, imagine starting out now and in 3 years you're making a pile of money. I mean, you'll just be so far ahead of where you are when you start.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like again, most people, it's just the nature of human beings, I guess, and that's why so many people nowadays are attracted to stocks and cryptocurrency and stuff, because everybody just wants to make a buck, right? But with e-commerce, like, you're actually starting a real business. It's something that has intrinsic value. Have you ever thought about like selling your brand, or no?
Yes, actually. So we have a 4 or 5 year plan that we're looking at. And you know what? That's a very good point. So as Amazon sellers and brand owners, I don't consider myself even an e-commerce seller. I consider us brand owners. We're building something of value here. We're building a brand that people know, love, and appreciate, and that over time, it really does have value. So the company that I worked for acquired many brands that were only a couple years old, sometimes 5, 6, 7 years old. And it was just a matter of building that customer base, the email list, the distribution channels, designing, creating a good product a lot of people like. That has a lot of value, an enormous amount of value. And when that can sell to the right party, you can find yourself becoming a very, very wealthy individual quickly. So that is something that we're looking at down the road. But there are definitely metrics that you have to hit and be mindful of as you go through and build your business. But those metrics usually good for running a productive business anyway. So yes, the answer is yes.
Can you talk about, maybe you have like a goal that you have in mind, either if it's like a revenue goal, or if it's like a valuation goal, if you want to sell your brand? Do you have any goals like that?
Absolutely. So in our particular niche, it's not a huge niche, but it's one that elicits a lot of emotions, and a lot of people really like it. We've, of course, poured over it, and we've looked at the market cap, and we've looked at all the revenue numbers and all the different sales channels, and we believe in about 2 to 3 years, we can achieve revenues of 4.5 million. It's that particular number that we basically, that goal, that revenue amount that we have consistently targeted over the last 6 months, especially. We have lots of things that we need to do in order to get that. We need new sales channels, we need new products, we need productivity improvements, we need cost downs, in order to achieve that revenue number and put the brand where it needs to be in order to be the best that it can be.
And that was million or billion? Million, I'm assuming.
Million. I said 4.5 million.
Yeah. Like, even for myself, I mentioned this on a few of my other videos recently, but like in the past few years, I've sold lots of products and I've grown lots of different brands. And now with e-commerce, I really maybe you've seen my recent video with my friend Matt with Brode. So like, he really inspired me, actually, because he's just like only focusing on building that on Broday. And so for me, I was like, like I should, instead of just like, random products and this and that, I should just focus on one thing like that I'm passionate about and like an actual, in terms of like an e-commerce brand. So like, that's what I've been doing. I'm starting a food e-commerce brand. So it's going to be like in the fitness niche. So can't really talk too much about it, but I'm super excited about that. Like obviously using all my e-commerce experience that I've built up. So and my goal with that, like when you think that long-term, like you are, 4 or 5 years, 10 years, for me, then, you can have a goal where it's like, yeah, you can grow a company and even, do millions in revenue and you potentially sell it for like 10, 20, 50. In terms of my goal for this food brand, maybe 100 million plus, definitely. But obviously there's a lot of work that goes there. So awesome. So my question is, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've studied actually your Broday brand a little bit, and I think that it's actually pretty unique, and it's a great brand for your students to learn from. I think your partner identified a gap in the market, something that was unique to I guess Europe, and you're bringing them to the United States. You've got a unique name, you've got a unique product and an offer, and I think I personally also like the selling price. I think a more mid-tier, higher retail price is actually a pretty good direction for Amazon. So I think that's a very important key component to success for
100%.
products.
Another thing with Broday, which by the way, for everybody watching, I made a video and I talked about it on my podcast as well, which link is down below. But I made a video with Matt recently, and the thing about Broday is like it really is a product that just fell perfectly with like his destiny and his kind of like lifeline. And then I joined up to basically help with the Amazon side of it and launch the Amazon side of it. So that's how. So I'm a part owner, and I launched it in the Ecom Freedom program, which Andrew has been a part of. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like you identified a gap in the market, and it's very interesting. It's controversial too. Obviously with the branding, it's called Broday. So you get a lot of love and hate, but it is what it is, right? All attention is good in my opinion. I'm curious, like when you were starting out with e-commerce, I guess before you joined Amazon Freedom, Ecom Freedom, that's what it's called now. Were you at all like skeptical? Were you like, okay, like e-commerce, I don't really know about this. Amazon, don't really know, but I'm just going to take the risk?
Personally, absolutely not. I saw the volume of the sales that were being had on Amazon before I had even gotten Jungle Scout. I could just see, how much money was being made through the sale of retail products. Essentially, this all has to do with e-commerce, but this is a sales. This has to do with the sale of retail products. Which, when you boil it down, in no means is this industry dead.
Yeah.
Through continued innovation, continued better and better branding, better quality products, better relationship with suppliers, better suppliers in general. Absolutely not. This is not any kind of dead industry, or I wasn't skeptical. My only, when I first started out, my only question was, okay, what are the specific steps needed in order to get that product from a shipping container, in the Los Angeles port to Amazon's FBA warehouse, and how do you go about actually selling these products to customers?
Got it. And is there a reason why you chose like my course specifically out of anybody else's? I'm sure that you probably watched other ones as well, like other YouTubers or something like that.
I chose your course because I thought you were very direct, and I thought I liked your communication style.
Was it like the first one that you kind of saw online?
I don't remember.
It's been some time.
It's been some time.
Yeah. So now that you have a successful e-commerce business, both on Amazon and then also you have your own website, and currently at this moment, how much in revenue are you guys doing in sales per month?
In sales per month, we are anywhere between $60K and about $120K.
And what kind of profit margin are you guys at?
All in, and which in the way that we calculate the profit margin includes everything, including returns, advertising, soft cost, shipping, everything. We're around 27 or 28%.
Nice. So that's basically multiple six figures per year in profit. What are your biggest dreams like in life? Moving forward, that obviously e-commerce goes into it, and if you can just share some of that. Maybe it's like, some people, they want to travel, want to buy a nicer house, get a nicer car, something like that. What is it for you?
So our dreams included having the ability to travel on our terms. My wife and I love to travel. We don't necessarily like the cold all the time, and we live in Pennsylvania. when you work a 9 to 5 job, you get 2 or 3 weeks off, at most. Having to be tied to that is not something that we necessarily liked. Additionally, we did want to make a lot of money, a lot more money than we could from a 9 to 5 job. I was always raised with the understanding that you'll never really get rich working for someone else. Your best chance of making a lot of money and kind of being free is owning your own business. And in what we're doing through online sales, through brand ownership and brand management, we're kind of doing just that. And our destinies are in our own hands instead of someone else's.
And what would be like your biggest words or piece of advice to somebody starting out today? They're thinking of starting an e-commerce business, whether it's Amazon or Shopify, if you have just any advice to give them.
Of course. So persistence and action, consistent action are key. Amazon and any business is frankly, it's a roller coaster. It's an emotional roller coaster. I swear every day, we wake up and we see, 5 different great things that have happened overnight, but then there are 3 different things that, aren't so good. You'll always get that. You'll always get good things and bad things. And you just have to ride the wave. You have to ride the roller coaster. Perseverance is important. A lot of people start this and, don't get past their first failure, second failure. If you continue to learn from your mistakes and you persevere, you can make this work. Absolutely. But it's just like so many other things in life. You will have failures, and it's very important to overcome those.
And you mentioned how your first product line, like you're not on your first one, but with your first product line, how many I guess failed products did you have to go through to hit your first successful product?
So our first product line was about 4 different products. So basically our 5th product, we realized, hey, this niche is where we want to be, where we need to be. We pretty much abandoned the first product line after we found this new product line that.
I guess was it your first, second, or third, or fourth product where you actually started to make sales? Where you at least broke even?
Oh, we broke even on the first 4. I mean, we made profit on the first 4. It just wasn't when they were all launched and running. They were like $7,000 per month for 4 different products. We didn't necessarily want to be in the business of running 10,000 products that were each doing 1.2 to 2K a month and $300 in profit. We wanted to be launching products that were doing 5 to 10K per month in sales and 2 to 3K. It's effort versus reward type of proposition.
For everybody starting out, obviously there's lots of different courses out there. Lots of the courses are not so good. The mentors are not there, and the information is outdated. Do you think, and this is just a question of personal opinion, do you think that if you were starting today, would you invest in a course, or would you just try to learn it on your own?
I would invest in a course. The fact of the matter is there's so much to learn and understand about this business. There are so many places where you can go wrong. The information is, of course, out there and on YouTube, but having a place where you can access it easily and it's summarized and presented well, that's very valuable. I mean, you pay a lot of money for a lot of different things. If you're going to start a business, spending a little bit of money to have that information well cataloged is definitely a value to many people. And on top of that, you can easily network with like-minded people. One of the things I like the most is your Facebook group. Being able to talk to other people and sharing the successes and failures, I think, is very important. So the course and really the camaraderie of a Facebook group or any kind of group is definitely very valuable.
And we talked about this briefly, but we actually, in our plans, we have planned out that we're going to form an inner circle. So just successful e-commerce sellers from our both of the programs, the Amazon and the Shopify. So really look forward to having you as part of that, because that's been kind of in the works for some time. But I think it's something that's going to be hugely beneficial, and I look forward to seeing you there. Cool. Thank you so much, Andrew, for being on the channel. For everybody who's watching, thank you once again. Subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks.
So that was Andrew giving us his e-commerce journey and his story going from 0 to, I think he mentioned, over 100K a month in revenue just last December, which is truly, truly incredible. So the course that Andrew took, it's actually called Ecom Freedom. It's my Amazon FBA program. And right now it's available on a free trial. It's a 7-day free trial. You can join basically if you want to learn every single step that you need to start a successful Amazon FBA business. And also it includes unlimited world-class mentorship with myself, as well as $1 million seller. His name is Scott Suggs. He's a very established industry professional. He's been doing Amazon for several years, and so he's always in the group answering questions. There's calls with him, calls with myself, and you also get one-on-one Facebook mentorship as well. So there's going to be a link down below for that, for the Ecom Freedom Amazon FBA program. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot of useful links down there as well. So you guys can go and check them out with my podcast. I'm always posting awesome episodes on that. So you can always reach out to me on Instagram at Dan Vass, best way to reach me. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.